Okay, and Moishi, how are we doing on the news media?
Fantastic. We managed to suppress yet another cure for cancer and crush that story about our base at the center of the earth.
Oh, that is fantastic work, Moishi. Abraham, how are the chemtrail projects working out?
Well, ever since we convinced people... Oh, hey, Eli?
Oh, hey, Cecil, what are you doing here at this,
It's Monday. We're recording our episode on David Icke today, remember? We were in the calendar appointment.
Shit, I forgot.
Who are these people?
Oh, these guys are my chess tennis club. That's right. We bop around chess pieces. It's a whole thing.
That's what we do. Yeah.
Are you sure he's not one of us?
No, Abraham. The beard is like it's a hipster thing. It's not a
looks Jewish.
Thing.
It's so confusing, though.
I know.
Okay, well, I need the studio, so
yeah,
maybe.
Sure. Guys, why don't we meet up Wednesday? Chacham, are you okay to give your report on the? Then? You can give your report then?
Sure thing.
Oh, so you'll do a Jewish voice.
What, you want me to do voices? You're always like, voices.
This is the one you'll do. This is the voice you'll do.
You sound like that.
Hello, and welcome to Citation Needed, the podcast where we choose a subject, read a single article about it on Wikipedia, and pretend we're experts. Because this is the internet. That's how it works now. I'm Tom, and I'll be ripping off the rubber masks and exposing the cold, hard truth, but I can't pull this rubber off alone. Joining me today are two men who look like the after pictures for a facial latex allergy. Heath and Eli.
That's fair. Pretty sure my eyebrows are trying to drag my skin away and replace it with a better model. That's what it looks like.
I was totally going to double cross Tom Cruise, too. Ended up going to the hospital. It was the worst. Worst. I had a mask under the mask. I don't even want to get into it.
And also joining us tonight are two men who, when asked what animal they would most like to be, had distressingly specific reasons for their answers. Cecil and Noah.
What? I just want to be the next Bond villainess, platypussy. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, no, that's so unfair. It's not bestiality anymore. If I'm that animal, I don't know what you're freaking out about. You asked what animal, that call to the ASPCA, that was unwarranted. I just feel like.
That was not my first call for you, by the way. Okay, we have to move on. This is the part where we thank our patrons in an attempt to guilt the non-patrons into being better people. So here we go. Our patrons are better lovers.
Yes.
It's true. Sorry, but that's just true. Because they know how to give. So if you want to be better in the sack, give us some money and we'll tell you whatever it is that you want to hear. And if you'd like to be complimented on the utility of your genitals, be sure to stick around until the end of the show. All right, with that out of the way, tell us, Cecil, what person, place, thing, concept, phenomenon, or event will we be talking about today?
Today, we're going to be talking about the author of the biggest secret,
Super secret, buddy.
greatest secret ever,
What a secret.
David motherfucking Icke.
All righty. Heath, you read an article on Wikipedia for the first time, I think, that had nothing to do with sex. So, are you okay? Is everything all right, buddy? You good?
We're going to talk about Barack Obama later and his beautiful milk chocolatey skin. There's sex involved. Hillary, too.
There's always sex involved.
All right. Well, tell us, Heath, for those of us who didn't spend almost a year reading his books chapter by chapter for fun and profit, who is David Icke?
David Icke is a former professional soccer player, sports announcer, political activist, public crazy talker, high-ranking teal enthusiast, and one of the world's foremost authors on the subject of Jewish people teaming up with shape-shifting lizard aliens to control the world.
Yeah, okay. That seems like a pretty standard career trajectory. Not even sure why we're doing this, but tell us, Heath, how does one go from playing sports guy to literate? I don't know how that works.
Often quite a struggle, or Kampf. So David Icke was born in Leicester, England in 1951.
I believe that's pronounced incorrectly.
He was born in Leicester, England. Go fuck yourself. And his father was a medic in the Royal Air Force during World War II. And his mother was a woman from that era also. Following the war, his father became a clerk in a clock factory. And his mom continued femaling in that era. Right. They lived in relative poverty for most of David's childhood, during which time it was determined by all his teachers that he was kind of stupid. The only real highlight of this time in his life was becoming a fairly talented soccer player, mostly as a goalkeeper.
And he continues to block things to this day. Logic, reason, thoughts.
Thoughts? Yeah.
Lizards have amazing fast twitch muscles, so it totally makes sense. It's like,
Well, his test scores are a little low, but his body doesn't allow solid objects to pass through unimpeded. So, fuck it. Soccer?
Soccer it is.
Soccer?
I mean, soccer or the army. Flip a coin.
Jesus.
All right, so Ike's professional career got started at age 15 when he dropped out of school.
If you've read any of his writing, it all makes sense right now.
You are not wrong.
Except the part where you read any of his writing, which
No.
perpetually makes no fucking sense.
Yeah, so he dropped out of school and started playing for the Coventry City youth soccer team. And over the next few years, he worked his way up to a part-time spot on the Hereford United pro level team. But unfortunately, he suffered from severe rheumatoid arthritis in his knees, ankles, elbows, wrists, and hands. And sadly,
Jesus.
eyelids too. I don't know. It sounds like a lot.
man.
Sadly, he didn't know about the magical Godhead vibrations that can cure all that stuff. So he was forced to retire at age 21.
Oh, making the first and last time I was invested in someone's soccer career.
Yeah, like this is already more than I have ever known about soccer in my entire life. Like, fun fact, like my son played soccer for about 3 days until we both looked at each other, shrugged, remembered we did not care, and no one else did either. So we quit the team by just never showing up again.
Like your marriage.
Nailed it.
Strong parenting.
I would argue we didn't show up for that for a longer than 3 days.
All right. So David Icke, with his only major skill in life being putting your body parts in front of a fast-moving ball, he had to scramble for a new job.
Fluffer.
Pinball wizard.
Miley Cyrus.
All great answers. But actually, he knew an editor at the Daily Mail, and this connection was able to get him a job as a sports reporter with the Leicester Advertiser. He continued working in the field throughout the 70s, and by the early 80s, he was a sports presenter for the BBC. And despite being kind of stupid, like we mentioned before, Icke did fairly well at this career for a while.
A successful sportscaster that's also stupid? The hell you say? No.
Yep. And that career went all the way until 1990. But then the success went away real fast. That's when he started yelling about how taxation is theft and refused to pay a local poll tax. And he was such a ridiculous asshole about it, including a public announcement that he'd go to prison at one point, that the BBC just kind of backed out of the room slowly and stopped paying him money. Kind of worked itself out in payroll. And just for the record, he ended up paying that tax, so he didn't even accomplish anything. Now he's an out-of-work soccer player and a sportscaster who's also out of work, who thinks he's a Fremen on the land and also has a strong interest in alternative medicine to help with his arthritis. And naturally, that made him a perfect fit to be a spokesman for the Green Party of the UK.
What?
Yeah.
Yep. And if they focused on real reality environment stuff and didn't help fuck American politics forever, I'd probably have more positive things to say about Green parties, but I do not. So anyway, David Icke's the new spokesman for the Green Party UK. And at least for the moment, this particular Green Party, I guess they were doing mostly good stuff. And David Icke is not shouting Nazi propaganda at a scribe and turning that into a book. But things are about to change. We're about to take a turn.
I like to imagine how this would go. Like, We need a proper spokesman for our party. Somebody who sees green everywhere, even under the skin of, I don't know, Jews, probably. Someone who won't dodge the important issues, but will stand in front of them and let those issues hit him in the chest and then the face. Someone brave enough to speak truth to power, even if that means screaming at a rest stop urinal. We need David Icke.
It's modern art. It's modern art. It's a Sinipazun urinal, yeah. So this is where David Icke goes full crazy. And apparently that happened in March of 1990 while he was sitting by himself in his hotel room and started feeling a presence.
Yeah, and the cleaning lady's standing behind him in the hotel. She spends 30 minutes asking him if he wants it tucked or untucked.
But then she left because he didn't respond at all, at which point he shouted into the empty room, "If there's anybody here, please contact me because you're driving me up the wall." This was followed by about 48 hours of awkward silence that Icke does not mention when he tells this story, but definitely happened. Anyway, he's at a meeting with a news agent 2 days later, and Icke claims that his feet were pulled by a magical force towards the floor. He's thinking of gravity, I'm assuming, when he described that magical force. Yeah. And a voice told him to walk over to a bookshelf and pick up a book. And the book was called Mind to Mind, written by Betty Shine.
I thought it was Ass to Ass,
healer.
written by Jennifer Connelly, but I get those mixed up very easily.
So he looks at the book and he decides to set up an appointment with Betty Shine to psychically fix his arthritis.
Right. Picks up the Quran first. Oh, the one to the right of the book I choose? Okay. If you insist, magical forces, I am your puppet.
I just love magical forces that have to resort to like ultimately mundane actions to reach a desired effect. It can't just the magical forces can't just fucking lift the book up and place it in your lap. That's too easy, man. Come on.
Yeah, this is like the divine intervention equivalent of your alphabet soup, like spelling out Eli's notes.
Yeah.
Okay. I write my notes in soup one time, and I never live it down.
Spelling is about
Just
as
a
accurate.
line of commas along the rim of the soup bowl. I don't use those. Okay, so Icke visited Betty Shine 4 times, and during the 3rd meeting, he felt a spider web on his face.
Fucking God.
Which was either a spider web from the earthly realm,
Right.
or the ringtone of a guy named Wang Yi Li calling from the spirit world. Turns out it was the latter. It was the Asian guy.
Yeah, when a Wang slaps you across the face, you listen, man. You just listen.
And Mr. Wang had a very important message for David Icke.
Watch out for spider webs.
But here's the thing. Only Betty Shine could hear the message. But she was nice enough to relay the information for a small fee. So, according to Mr. Wang, silent quote that only Betty Shine could hear, you were sent to heal the earth from something, I guess. Not clear. But spoiler, Ike's going to land on Jewish people. Continuing, you will become famous, but face opposition. The spirit world will pass ideas to you, and you'll speak about those ideas to others. You'll write 5 books in 3 years, and in 20 years, a new flying machine would allow us to go wherever we wanted. Probably talking about the airplane of 2010 at that point. Continuing again, time will have no meaning, and there's going to be earthquakes in unusual places because the inner earth is being destabilized by having oil taken from the seabed. End silent quote from Wang Yi Li in the spirit world.
Okay, to give Mr. Wang some credit, 20 years was a great bet on figuring out that literally anything is better than flying. Like, it's not on him.
And there's only about 12,000 earthquakes a year, so that's like 250,000 earthquakes in 20 years and one in an unusual place. That's clearly prophetic. Right. I mean, come on, clearly.
Oh, no, sure.
Yeah,
I love this fucking idiotic vision of the earth. Like the average oil well at that time was like a kilometer deep. right? So the inner Earth, the core of the Earth, can shake off the shit that happens at the surface, but not the stuff that happens 99.984304% of the way to the surface, because that's deep down in the water and shit.
The nickel and iron got mad about that, though. They could tell. They could tell.
Also included in the prophecy, you will smell burnt toast, and the left side of your body will go inexplicably numb. Your grandchildren will say they're going to visit, but they never will.
Yeah, so the message from the Asian stereotype mute guy had a big impact on David Icke. And you'll remember from the beginning, we mentioned that he's a highly ranked teal enthusiast, right?
I thought that was just like a ranking you had in your head, like the races.
I can have both or one of those or zero. You don't know. Well, this is the time in David Icke's life that he calls the turquoise period. And it started when he got another message from the spirit realm.
You go to the doctor if you have a turquoise period. That's not okay. That is not okay.
You don't like a turquoise period? Anyway, everybody's got their taste. So this time
it's like
it
a
came
duck
in the
egg
form
up there.
of
What's going on? Like a robin laid an egg up
What
there.
is this, a horseshoe crab?
Speaking of turquoise menstrual blood, he got this other message from the spirit realm, and this other message
Nailed
came
it.
in the form of automatic writing, in which you put a pen in your hand
Oh,
and
Jesus.
then move your hand around near paper. It's a lot like regular writing, actually.
you.
But you get magic information.
I hate that my life has to include knowing that this exists. I fucking hate it.
My life includes multiple failed attempts to convince relatives that it doesn't.
Oh.
I feel like I win.
Define win again, Noah.
Farting and not shitting. For me, personally, I didn't want to take Noah's answer. But
So in this case, it was the spirit realm telling David Icke that he was the son of the Godhead, or son of the infinite mind.
Yeah, just the spirit realm, like, hey, guy, without a GED, you have an infinite mind. Infinite mind.
Yep. So obviously, that meant it was time to wear nothing but turquoise, including a turquoise shell suit, because you get more positive energy with that color. And you're going to want a good amount of positive energy when you're the son of the Godhead, obviously. So,
Okay, has there like
Turquoise shell
ever
suit.
been even one person ever who's like, from now on, I'm just wearing one color all the time? That like wasn't absolutely fucking bunkaroo. It's like the crazy, it's the easiest crazy person tell. It's like, okay, I have two pair and you have only turquoise. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go with bet everything on you're fucking crazy.
Also, I'm having a little trouble reconciling the magical properties of teal with a quarter century of being a Jaguars fan. So, yeah, I'm going to call bullshit on this one.
all right. So now it's March of 1991, and Ike's all hopped up on the color turquoise, and he decides the Green Party thing isn't working out for him. Pretty sure there was a big fight about switching the name to the Blue Green Party, and party elders weren't having it.
really? Because it sounds like the kind of thing the Green Party would love.
Yeah, I don't think it's a stretch to call the Green Party the Aqua Party for how many elections they sank,
Yeah. So,
That's sad to me.
So Ike holds a big press conference at this point to announce that he's resigning from his post as their spokesman, explaining that he's about to be at the center of a tremendous controversy. At which point there was a standing ovation from the crowd of Green Party members.
Amazing.
Yeah, I feel like they were going to cheer no matter what when they realized they weren't being represented by a guy in a turquoise shell suit anymore.
Okay, I feel like big press conference might be a bit of an exaggeration. Like big press conference for the Green Party.
Wow.
So like David Icke and his mom. That's the whole. That's it.
Well, then a week later, he held another press conference and announced to the world that he's the son of the Godhead. He also made a list of prophecies during that press conference. He said, the world's going to end in 1997. We'll just keep track of his score here. That's 0 for 1. There's going to be a hurricane around the Gulf of Mexico. Nailed it. That never happens. 1 for 2.
Never.
There's going to be disruption in China. The verb disrupt happened there somewhere. Nailed it again. 2 for 3.
Good.
Los Angeles will become an island. 2 for 4. The cliffs of Kent will be underwater by Christmas. Call that 2 for 5. And finally, New Zealand will disappear. And that one's not clear. Maybe they came back. We don't know. So no score on that one. We'll say still 2 for 5. We'll give them a base on balls for that one. 2 for 5, though, is not great for the son of the Godhead, but not bad. Not bad. It's
That's
Hall of
first
Fame
time
numbers
out.
for baseball.
First time out. Well, and he didn't say which Christmas on the cliff, so maybe we give him 2.5. Maybe it's 2
Fair.
or 4.
I want to know, why is the press continuing to show up at these conferences? Like, can anyone just call a press conference? Because if so, I have a lot of things to get off my chest. I mean, making calls.
It's England, Tom. It's the size of a postage stamp. Yeah.
So the big publicity stunt got David Icke invited onto a long list of TV and radio shows, and that includes a now infamous interview that he did with Terry Wogan in April of 1991.
The best.
This is the
This is
greatest.
amazing.
Watch this video. And it did not go well for David Icke. For example, the very first thing that happens, this is my favorite part of David Icke's entire life. The first thing that happens when he walks out for this interview, the son of the Godhead walks out onto the set of the show and almost chokes to death on a cookie. That's the best thing.
Wait. Fucking wait. Who the fuck runs a talk show and provides cookies to guests?
Right.
Like, what do you give them, a fucking cold glass of milk and a big handful of fucking chewing gum too?
Yeah, it's almost like sane people would not have to be told not to eat caramels while they're recording a podcast, huh?
What?
Eli?
Those were a gift from me to me.
So once he finishes his cookie choking and his enormous spoon of peanut butter and he's able to speak, Wogan asks him, "Are you the Son of God?" And Icke says, "Yes." Then immediately gets laughed at by the entire audience and then explains how everybody laughed at Jesus too. Also pointing out that laughter is the best way to remove negative energy. Other than the color turquoise, I guess. And
I feel like I refute that claim. Just throwing that out there.
you're going to need a turquoise shell suit before we can control that whole experiment, but
I'm in.
point.
Say no more.
And from there, it only gets sillier. By the time it's over, David Icke was thoroughly humiliated, as he should have been. He later described the experience, saying, quote, "One of my greatest fears is being ridiculed in public, and there it was coming true." And speaking of public ridicule, it's about time for us to get into David Icke's writing career. The showing up for school naked and covered in feces of writing careers.
Well, Heath, I, for one, am glad that we're tackling two mentally ill attention whores back to back. So let's take a break now from ridiculing crazy people for something much classier, apropos of nothing.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this special meeting of the British Green Party. If everyone could be seated.
Don't tell me where to sit. I'm going to sit on the floor.
My chair isn't perfect, so I set it on fire right now. I'm setting it on fire.
Jolly good.
I'm an expatriate.
Excellent. If everyone could just turn off their cell phones because they leak magic poison.
Oh, I didn't feel like there was a big difference between Verizon and shoving needles in my ear.
I wasn't inspired by any phone company, so I just yell and then get mad when my pizza doesn't get delivered.
I bet if you keep yelling, they'll bring you a pizza. Let's all just keep yelling.
Pizza!
I'll join you in a moment. Anyway, today I have some sad news.
Pizza!
Right? I must resign my position as spokesman for the Green Party. I'm moving towards a career in deluding the uneducated while doing irreparable harm both to my country and to intellectual discourse.
Isn't that what you do here?
Yes, it is, but I want to do mine about aliens. So...
It's absolutely your right to leave if it's not absolutely perfect. Good choice.
Would some of us leaving with you not help?
Yeah.
Yes, that would be great. Thank you.
Pizza!
We should all do that. That would be helpful. Pizza! Recount!
And we're back from that distressingly accurate reenactment. When we left off, Heath, you were, I believe, going to break our maidenhead. Godhead, whatever.
That is correct, Tom.
Listening
So
completely.
David Icke published The Truth Vibrations in May of 1991. And then he actually went on to fulfill that prophecy from the Asian Mute about writing 5 books in 3 years. From 92 to 94, he published Love Changes Everything, about theosophy and channeling. Oh, God. Days of Decision, about his wildly embarrassing interview tour, and also with a section about the mythicism of Jesus. In the Light of Experience, his autobiography.
That's a terrible title.
No.
In the light
Amazing.
of
Heal the World,
experience.
a do-it-yourself guide to personal and planetary transformation. I think that one speaks for itself. And finally, The Robots' Rebellion, also known as Just Asking Jewish Questions.
The Robots Rebellion and the Truth Vibration sounds like a good intro to my next essay on sex robots. That's going to be awesome.
I call that one.
Cecil, I read that essay. It's just a half-completed customer satisfaction survey.
Tom, if he finished early, we can assume the customer was satisfied. I mean, it's a good...
Yeah, but weirdly enough, the robot wasn't.
All right, so before he wrote The Robots' Rebellion, David Icke wasn't directly helping neo-Nazis, but then he was. Kind of a turning point in one's life, we'll say right here.
He gets it. He gets it.
So the book claims that there's a secret cabal of super rich people somehow connected with aliens, and their goal is world domination. Still more. They're already in charge by a lot, but they want to be extra super duper in charge.
So like Hillary Clinton, right?
Yeah, there you go.
And most importantly, it's the Jews we're talking about. We're talking about Jewish people.
Okay.
And his evidence is the Protocols of the Elders of Zion. That is, if you're not familiar, the anti-Semitic propaganda text that was fabricated probably by Russian pre-Nazis and published in 1903. It was claimed to be the minutes of a secret meeting where all the Jewish overlords made plans to take over the media and the world economy. And despite getting thoroughly debunked ever since, it gets reintroduced as a real thing by hate groups and occasional sons of Godheads even today.
Look, guys, I'm not anti-Semitic. Hating Jews goes back centuries, but the Nazis perverted it, man. Like the swastika.
It's about free speech.
The whole Protocols is just a transcription of a bitchy fight about what to set the thermostat at in the meeting room.
So that's my whole big thing. Right? I guarantee that nobody who's buying into this Protocols of Zion conspiracy has ever tried to get 3 Jews to agree on a restaurant, right? Or any other thing that has multiple options.
All right, so with Jewish alien warlocks who secretly control the world as your jumping off point, you can go pretty much anywhere you want. And David Icke did. But he doesn't really connect any dots along the way. You just gotta make shit up and then he yells dots. But maybe you guys can connect some of this stuff. So just shout it out if you have a good connection. And speaking of evil Jewish aliens, David Icke also believes that the universe is made of vibrational energy. And if you can dial your vibrations around, you can pick up other dimensions just like a radio dial for dimensions. And there are infinity of these dimensions all sharing the same space. So therefore, time is an illusion. Plus Jews or something. Dots.
Well, no, yeah, I
Dots.
think it's minus Jews, actually. But no, that's other than that.
Yeah, you're missing a huge part of this, though, Heath. The only way to dial in these vibrations is if you get hints or Jews clues. That's
Excellent.
Okay, and Heath, to be fair, I mean, time is somewhat of a slippery concept. Like, you ever think like, it's been like 20 minutes solid. You're feeling pretty good about yourself. Then you look up and your wife or some stupid lying Jew clock machine says 3 minutes. And now suddenly it's your turn to do the dishes all week.
Okay, Tom, if you're going to call me a lying Jew clock machine, I'm not going to be your spotter anymore. Like that's what's going to happen.
All right. More dots. Another big dot is the reptilian humanoid theory.
Oh, God.
This expands on the Jewish Kabbalah idea, obviously, suggesting that they're working alongside a race of shape-shifting lizard aliens who took over the world so they could eat our negative energy. So here's how this works. I guess if you vibrate at a downward angle, that's negative. But if you vibrate left, right, or up, they can't eat it. But the down is what they're going for.
Right. No. Right. And then if you vibrate up and then up again and then down, left, right, BA, select, start, you get 30 extra lives, too. So that's good to know. You learn a lot of shit reading your Dave and Ike.
sick Contra reference. There you go.
There you go. Konami code for the win.
So, the aliens, they showed up on Earth and they got the Jewish people to help them get everyone, vibrating down towards down. So they can eat it.
Just a thought, but maybe you should vibrate like where the mood takes you and not try to keep working the same angle over and over again.
See, this is why you need a spotter, Tom. You gotta it's called quitting.
All right. So in exchange for helping with the negative vibes thing, the lizard aliens agreed to make the Jewish people become the Illuminati. And this involved several rounds of breeding experiments to create human-reptile hybrids. The first round started about 300,000 years ago, and that one didn't really take that well, as it turns out.
No, Heath, was that because there weren't yet modern humans in existence to breed with?
Well, it was just, super intelligent Jewish lizard aliens going around trying to take over the world economy before money existed. So, just nothing happened. It was just kind of like a waste.
Yeah.
But the latest round of breeding, which was about 7,000 years ago, worked out pretty well. And this batch is the secret cabal that currently controls the world.
Thank God these lizard overlords from another dimension didn't try to use any advanced technology or superpowers to take over the world. Instead, they just decided to do it through economics. Which is
yeah, and corporate logos and whatnot. I feel like that's making the least out of your 23,000-year head start, really.
Hey, man, you want to fuck up the world? Get fucking.
Get fucking a lizard.
they do have fast twitch muscles. I mentioned that earlier.
And that heel bone? You guys into heels?
Yeah.
Who's not into heels, right?
Yes.
Heel fucking? Just to be clear, if you were thinking those reptile aliens were from the same dimension as us, you'd be wrong. I feel like you guys were assuming that. Incorrect. They came from the lower level of the fourth dimension.
Oh, okay.
And that's the one that's
That's
closest to our physical world. Of the infinity dimensions occupying the same space, theirs was the closest. And they control us from that 4 slot nice and easy because we're right here on 3. Of course, the reptilians who control the Jewish people who control us are controlled by some other alien race based on, I'm guessing, a different type of earth animal. Maybe sharks. We'll say sharks. And the shark aliens have a secret cabal of Jewish reptiles who help dominate that 4th dimension from up on the 5th dimension. That's the corporate structure. That's how it works.
Right.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? I got lost after just to be clear.
Don't even pay attention, Heath. Don't pay attention. What you said made perfect sense, unless you're
Thank you.
not even like tridimensionally attuned to the harmonic theory of vibratory orgone crystals, but like, come on.
Read a book.
I'm
Really?
sorry. I just really want to be there for the 4th dimensional HR meetings with the Jew lizards talking to the 5th dimensional. It's just like, God, seriously? Where are the covers on these reports? I don't have this. I don't have this. You got to CC everybody.
We're in two different dimensions. This is important. Take this job seriously.
Galtrum.
I'm a shark. And again, just to be clear,
You need to
the
stop
lizard
saying
aliens-
that word, Heath. Please stop saying that.
just to be talking, the lizard aliens didn't only show up to eat our negative vibration energy. That's not the whole thing. They also came to get some of our monoatomic gold.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Because where there's Jews.
Jesus.
Yeah, so
That's true.
not sure what the market was when the aliens first showed up, but I just checked online.
300,000
Yeah, it was a
years
while
ago.
back. It was a while back. But right now, you can get a 1 month supply of monoatomic gold for only $32. And that's pretty good.
Maybe. Can someone tell me how much is a 1 month supply? Because like I've had a no month supply for my whole life, and I'm feeling a little ripped off right now.
How much money do you have, Tom? That's a 1 month supply. You got it. And just in case anyone's not familiar, monoatomic gold is the same as regular gold, except you cut it up really small into atom-sized pieces. And when it's in that form, the lizard aliens are able to use it to increase the capacity of their nervous systems by a factor of 10,000. And when you have 10,000 times more nerves, you could do a lot of shit. For example, you can read faster. That's pretty awesome. You can jump dimensions faster. And you can shapeshift super good between lizard and humanoid forms.
Oh my God.
You go in to sell your monoatomic gold to the lizard guy from Pawn Stars, and he says, sorry, best I could do is 500 times more nerves. I can't do any better than that.
I feel like they could have used something different as our standard of currency when they were setting up the economy, right? If that's what I mean, like, I don't mean to tell the transdimensional shape-shifting lizards how to do their jobs, but that was kind of a stupid angle, right?
All right, now I want to be at the HR meetings with Noah.
It's gold powder that was cut with too much like baby laxative, can't really shapeshift. Keeps shitting. Eli with a dinosaur tail dragging. Anyway,
Yep, we all saw it.
so one other detail on the gold thing. Some authors have tried to give David Icke some credit as best they possibly could and suggested that he was using the stories about aliens and monoatomic gold as an allegory for the alienating nature of global capitalism. But Icke was immediately like, no, it's not an alligator. I don't even know what that would mean. That's weird. Take me seriously.
Yeah, that was just some out of work English major, like mumbling to himself about the relationship between meaning and authorship while picking his dinner from the dumpster behind a Chinese restaurant. So,
And Wikipedia was like, write that shit down.
Yeah. So, according to Icke's research,
Scare
the
quotes.
lizard alien,
Scare quotes.
the lizard alien bloodline includes some very powerful families and groups throughout history. Among others, he traced the alien blood to the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, the British royal family, the rich people in the eastern time zone of the United States, Mark Zuckerberg, Tony Blair, George W. Bush, and Barack Obama. All Jewish. And apparently their secret brotherhood controls the United Nations, the International Monetary Fund, the Council on Foreign Relations, the Trilateral Commission, the Bilderberg Group, the CIA, MI6, science, just all of it.
Just all of
the
it.
media,
the idea.
again, all of it, and the internet.
Yeah, but the one thing they just can't control is David Icke. The only remaining uncorruptible thing.
You'll notice Heath left out the Fed, his favorite Ponzi scheme.
I will stab
Or
you.
should I say Heath Berg left out the Fed?
All right. Well, Heath, I at least am getting the picture here. The Illuminati are in control, and we should just bow to their power. But what I want to know, because you wrote this segue, is there a pattern?
Indeed, there is a pattern, Tom. Great question. The end of it was great anyway. Icke identifies what he calls the problem reaction solution technique. And this is how the secret cabal manipulates everything. Here's a few examples to illustrate what he's talking about. So think about stuff like Columbine, 9/11, global warming, chemtrails, fluoride in the water supply, and the JFK assassination. Now, they all have something in common.
Brown people things happening to white people.
It's really easy to sell books when you lie about those.
Yeah.
Alex Jones decorates cakes on all those themes and then eats them shirtless and crying.
All great answers. But also, think back. Those events all involve a thing followed by another thing. Followed by another thing. Problem, reaction, solution. That's classic trademark alien stuff. Jewish people too. They go thing all the time.
To be fair, solution, problem, reaction is a nightmare to orchestrate. It is just...
All right, well, that does narrow it down. I'm sold, obviously. But, like, how do the aliens get the humans to, do stuff if they don't want to do that stuff?
Yeah, that would be kind of tricky. But it turns out the aliens actually hollowed out the moon. The moon's hollow.
Yeah.
And they're using it as a spaceship that amplifies the mind control signal that they're shooting from Saturn. They don't shoot it from the moon. They amplify it
right.
from Saturn.
Don't be stupid.
So yeah, apparently the fourth dimension also has a border with Saturn.
And dimension does.
Yeah, and there's a storm on the north pole of Saturn
side of the tracks.
that's perfect for mind control beams.
Which is the good side of the tracks of the fourth dimensional border with Saturn? I don't know. Just don't want to buy a home that's not going to be worth anything. That's all.
Mm-hmm. Well, you want the up pole. It's the down by vibrations are good, but the up pole is north, and north is up.
Got it.
From all the dimensions. So, and here's the thing with the storm on Saturn is the key. There's a storm and it's hexagonal. And anyone who's ever tried to run a mind control plot using, a pentagonal storm like a fucking amateur, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It does not work.
Well, I mean, you can get the converter at the airport, but they're bulky, cost a fortune.
Just a lizard Jew standing at a kiosk. $30. Really? $30? I'm going to buy 25 of these for $1 on Amazon, and then I'm going to forget them, and I'll see you in a second. God damn, $30.
All right. Well, that brings us to the final dot. Apparently, the phase 3 profit of this whole operation is cannibalism and pedophilia.
Nope, I quit the show.
Or vice versa. Tom, think about it for a second. Pedophilia and cannibalism.
Okay, all right, I'm back in.
He's back in. Good. Okay. So just about everything David Icke says ends with, okay. I know that sounds crazy, but hold on. Let me finish. And then Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama and the other Jews all fuck some kids to death and eat the bodies.
And when you say everything he says, we're including drink orders and shit.
Yeah.
Do you guys think there's anyone who's like on board until that? Who was like, oh, okay, really? Pizzagate? This guy's a fucking nut job. I'm going to find someone to reliably report on Saturn's connection to the fourth dimension, asshole.
All right, so if you're that person, please write us in. We will put you on the show forever. You're perfect.
Please.
So, one final note. David Icke's not just some crazy guy with a blog that 10 people read. That was absolutely directed at Eli. David Icke is a crazy guy who's sold hundreds of thousands of books, and he gives lectures to literal stadiums of people. And they actually believe the words coming out of his stupid fucking face. So, according to a 2013 survey by the Public Policy Polling Group, 4% of Americans believe that lizard people control our society.
What?
That's like 13 million people just in the U.S.
Yeah, honestly, I'm more surprised that those 13 million people succeeded in filling out a survey. Not that they...
All right, well, Heath, since I'm now going to kill myself in despair, if you had to summarize what you've learned in one sentence before I hang myself, what would it be?
Okay, if I ever become an intergalactic merchant, I'm going to stock up on downward sloping vibrations with negative derivatives, gold julienne, and little kids. I'm set to go.
Well, there you go. Are you ready to face questions from our panel?
I am ready.
All right. I got one to start you off here. Which of your co-hosts is the only one of them that has not read a 900-page David Icke book? Is it A,
It's only one?
the guy who
That's so
tries to
sad.
sound smart by keeping a thesaurus window open the whole time he writes his diatribes? Is it B, the guy who tries to sound smart by standing really close to Cecil and somberly going, Is it C, the guy who tries to sound smart by actually going to college a whole bunch of times? Or is it D, the guy who tries to sound stupid but was the only one smart enough not to read 900 pages of David Icke?
Wow, Eli, that's Eli, I'm assuming, is D. You've never read David Icke?
Yeah. Did not read.
Wow.
Hey, Tom, you got room in that noose for another?
Not the Bible either. Okay, Heath. David Icke has a documentary on the internet called Oblivion that we will eventually do on God Awful Movies. And Tom and Cecil will be guests because I'm mentioning now. People will get excited and tweet at us about it until eventually everyone agrees to do it.
What?
How long is that
Oh,
documentary?
Jesus Christ, Eli.
No.
This
answer
better.
This answer better be A.
Is it
Swear to
A?
God.
Is it 45 minutes?
It fucking better be. Or I will end your life painfully.
An hour and a half?
It can't be
C,
that.
2 full hours? Or D,
Oh, God damn
4
you.
hours
Oh,
and
God
42
damn you.
minutes?
Okay, hold on. Secret answer E. No matter how long it is, it's 45 minutes.
Cecil is correct.
watch
Cecil
45
wins
minutes.
today. Cecil wins the game. I believe there's also one that's 6 hours and 42 minutes, which you didn't mention.
Jesus Christ.
That is
No!
that's 2 parts together. This is the only one that is a single movie.
All right, well, we're
that's
not
4
watching one
hours and
part like a
42
fucking bunch of idiots, and we're going to be lost for the second part, not know what's going on. in the world.
marathon. 24-hour straight marathon of David Icke.
Cecil got that one correct. I got it wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. David Icke is obviously supremely qualified for so many jobs. Ball kicking guy who excitedly talks about other guys who kick the ball, Messiah sequel, writer of great exposés on the fourth dimensional monoatomic gold Jew lizard conspiracy. What other jobs are in David Icke's future? A, pizza gateway computer tech. B, Sandy hook, line, and sinker bait shop. C, he who smelt it, dealt it, jet fuel salesman. Or D, White House press secretary.
Absolutely D, White House press secretary. We got to get him on right now. Oh, that would be beautiful with the two of them sharing the job. Perfect.
Sure.
All right, Heath. Icke spends a lot of time in his books talking about JFK. What was JFK a member of? A, the Organ Donor Society of America. B, Hair Trigger Club for Men. C, the Empty Chamber of Commerce. Or D, the Bullet of the Month Club.
Very quick delivery on that last one.
I feel like you want me to, you're trying to trick me because A, he was like very sickly and none of his organs really worked. And we didn't know that because he has inbred through all of, Eastern American society. But I think it's A.
It's definitely not. It's Empty Chamber of Commerce. Sorry,
Oh.
you failed. Abjectly failed.
I got it wrong.
Cecil wins.
Hey, I think that's good. And how about Noah for next week? What do you say? Noah, you good?
All right, now I will toss it over to Sarah for last week's Twitter answer and this week's Twitter question.
Thanks, Tom. This week's assignment is write a haiku, or David Icke, if you will, about David Icke. Haiku poems consist of 3 lines. The first and last lines of a haiku have 5 syllables, and the middle line has 7 syllables. Remember to retweet or Facebook share this episode with your haiku for a chance to be next week's winner. Back to you, Tom.
All right, well, for Heath, Eli, Noah, and Cecil, I'm Tom. Thanking you for hanging out with us today. We'll be back next week. And by then, Noah will be an expert on something else. Between now and then, fill your third hole with a little more of Eli, Noah, and Heath. And if you've got a glory hole in your fourth dimension, plug it up with some more of Cecil and I over at Cognitive Dissonance. Remember, you should give us money. So to do that and keep this show going, you can make a per episode donation to patreon.com/citationpod or leave us a 5-star review everywhere you can. And if you'd like to get in touch with us, check out past episodes, connect with us on social media, or check the show notes, be sure to check out citationpod.com. Pizza!
It is so unfair that nobody has brought you pizza yet.
I know, right? Pizza!
Someone bring this guy pizza. Bring him pizza.
I did not waste my Jill Stein vote.